I think that high school football coaches, especially here in the state of Texas, are, it's a unique fraternity of commitment to the game, commitment to the kids, commitment to the classroom.
Commitment to the state.
Right, 100%. There's an
Yeah.
expectation to be upheld.
Yeah.
But I do think that the growth that we've seen in a production standpoint has come through an availability of information.
Yeah.
Right. I can't attest to what coaching school looked like in 2010 or 2006, but what I can attest to is what it's consistently looked like since 2015 when I started attending, which is we are going to go out and do everything we can to bring the best of the best in the football world to speak to you guys and be available to you guys for an information overload almost.
Yeah.
You can leave there. We've talked about it before. It's really easy to leave coaching school and be like, I got all the answers this year, right?
Yeah.
And rewrite your whole playbook. And that's simply because you got guys that do a lot of different things really, really well, talking to you about what they do really well. And we can buy into that and say, they're so good at it, and I feel like he shared with me to the point of comprehension mastery to where we need to go do that.
Oh yeah.
So you can find yourself deep down the rabbit hole for sure, but the availability of information and the commitment of the state and the association to provide as much information as possible, I think is a huge factor in that, along with, the game itself, the expectations, right? There's always that trickle down effect.
Sure.
The NFL has kind of catered towards putting more points on the board, more explosive plays, protecting guys because it is entertainment, and then the college guys want to be in environments or systems that are going to prepare them for those type of situations.
Yep.
And the trickle down effect continues. But I think one of the things that does get overlooked quite a bit in the growth of the game for our state is the commitment to continued education that staffs all over the state and the association itself has really poured into.
Yeah, shout out Joe Martin.
100%.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
Now, yeah, I'd be interested too. I mean, just to, not to continue to piggyback off of that, but looking at the development from the kids going from, senior year in high school to college, are they what's the readiness level from 20 years ago compared to now? Because that would also, I think, be a direct correlation from what we're talking about right now.
For sure. And the thing that I noticed even more so this year is, even from 4, 5, 6 years ago, Alabama is, the elite of the elite from a consistency standpoint. And, hearing former Alabama players like Julio Jones and those guys talk about expectations and what the culture is in that locker room and within that program, how high the standard is. But think about in the last 2 years how many true freshmen, or 3 years, how many true freshmen have played there.
Well, yeah.
It's absurd.
That's what I'm saying. The development's crazy.
You go back to 12, 13. You go back to 2009 when they played Texas in the national championship, 2012 when they played Notre Dame. Those were senior or upperclassmen heavy football teams. And guys went there and said, I'm going to Alabama, and I'm not going to play for 18 months.
That's right.
But I'm going to get really, really good, and I may only start for 1 year, but I'm probably going to be a third-round draft pick at the worst.
Yeah.
And that is just not the case anymore. And a lot of guys, I've heard conversations about, but that's because they want those freshmen to come to them, and so they know that they've got to play them. Bull crap.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're there and they're good enough to play, so they play them.
Well, yeah, it comes back to the development. They've been developed. I mean, that typical gap from 18 to a 25-year-old man, which is still big, but it's not as big as it used to be anymore. And I think consider being in like air raid offense, spread offense, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot more rotation too than there used to be.
Yeah, you're not putting 11, maybe 12 or 13 guys saying, all right, here's our offense, and they don't see anybody else during the game.
Correct.
I mean, you're throwing passes to 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in one game.
Yeah.
And it's reflective in the NFL. I think I saw Drew Brees had a game this year. He completed a pass to like 11 people.
Yeah.
Which
the GOAT.
Right, exactly. And that's a testament to knowing who you have.
Goats, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a testament to knowing who you have and what they're really good at and
Yeah.
putting them in those situations to be successful.
Yep.
And the number's not always going to be at the double digits, but if you've got 7 guys catching a pass, or if you've got 4 guys with more than 3 carries,
Yeah.
that's a
Defensive-
really efficient offense. That's a really effective offense. And like you said, defense coordinators are going to absolutely hate.
Yeah. If I'm a linebacker or anybody, it's, well, I don't know where it's going now. I mean, it's compared to back in the day. It's like, oh, it's stop number 7,
Right.
and we're okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's different now. That's for sure.